Alright, how's everybody doing today? This is Heath back at you. I had a request from Tommy to do a video on my action figure dioramas, so let's go ahead and let you guys know up front. If you're not into this, that's totally cool. It's not going to be model car related, so you don't want to watch, that's totally fine. I understand that not everybody will be into it. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and show you guys that are interested. I got into action figure dioramas about 2 months ago, maybe 3, and this is that's the second one I built. This one over here is the first one. Do these out of insulation foam board, and it's just like, you know, the model cars. I've watched a lot of people on YouTube building these and just kind of learned from those guys, and picked up on a lot of techniques and stuff that they used, and it's pretty fun. I always loved action figures and X-Men, stuff like that when I was a kid, so this is a cool little side hobby for me. We use some of the same material in doing this as what you would, you know, model car building. I mean, I know some dioramas I've used the balsa wood, the window frame that's on this particular piece I did out of balsa wood. The glass is that K&S clear plastic you could get, and just kind of sand it and make it look hazy. You know, the wire mesh down there on the vent is actually gutter grate that you can get at Home Depot. The piping is just Build-A-Straw material. The light that's up here, that light actually works. You're not going to be able to see it out here, so I won't turn it on, but it enables me to take pictures in the dark, and just makes the diorama look a little bit more realistic, and the character looks a little more menacing in the dark. Made a little electric panel over here. This roll-up door is the same material that is, you know, the wall itself. It's the foam board. I just took and cut it out and sectioned it back a little bit, so it looks like it was actually, you know, a separate piece of the wall, and just carved grooves in there and painted it up and dirtied it up. So this is the first one I did. I've got some props and stuff that I built as well, but I didn't bring those out here. So first one I just wanted to do simple with the warehouse scene. This one over here is a second one. I just got this one done a couple of weeks ago. Again, I know some of you have seen, I do have a dumpster that goes right here, and I probably should have brought that out here, but just kind of forgot about it before I made the video. But I kind of made this like a dark alleyway. Again, I used the piping, the balsa wood for the window, carved these bricks out, and it's just all foam board, guys. It's not hard to do once you practice it. The door is actually the same way that I did the roll-up door on the other one. It is the same foam board I cut out and sectioned it back a little bit. I actually trimmed that door with balsa wood, and the door itself is a manila folder that I cut out and trimmed in balsa wood, and then painted it up to look like an old rustic door. The grate that is inside of that one is actually a piece of cross-stitching mat that you can find in the craft section of Hobby Lobby. And let me pause the video real quick, and I'll show you guys the current one that I'm working on right now. Alright, so this is the current one that I'm working on. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I was a huge X-Men fan as a kid. You know, the 90s cartoon X-Men, the Jim Lee version. You know, I was growing up in the 90s, so I was always a huge fan of the X-Men. And again, this one is just a work in progress. I actually just started it a few days ago. And if you're familiar with the X-Men series, you know, a lot of the battles and stuff that took place in the cartoon was actually, maybe in the future, or, the Sentinels destroyed buildings, or just seemed like they're always fighting in a area that kind of looked like a wasteland. So I wanted to do a diorama of just fragments of walls that have been hit and damaged, and I've used some styrene tubing off a parts tree to simulate rebar sticking out of the concrete. And again, this is still a work in progress. I just kind of painted in some of my gray for the concrete the other day, and that's as far as I've got with it. I plan on adding some more to the ground and filling that in a little bit. I just brought out Wolverine and Bishop to kind of give you guys an idea of what I was going for. I think I'll be able to take a lot of good pictures with this diorama with various character sets as well. For instance, I could probably do a good, Spider-Man versus Rhino with this set. Captain America, I can get in some of the Avenger photos. And like I said, I saw a video about action figure diorama building on YouTube, and the more I looked into it, it's a really big subculture, and those guys get really deep into it. What you're looking at with my stuff, this is rookie compared to the stuff they build. I mean, they put the comic book cutouts in theirs, and they really go very detailed with their dioramas and their backgrounds, and they hold a actual worldwide competition every year where the people that are invited to be in this tournament, they do 3 different rounds, and if you advance to each round, I guess I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know the final person who wins the entire tournament, they get like boo-koodles of prizes. I think there's like cash money that's involved. So those guys get really talented with it, and they deserve the credit for being a really good subculture and an art form. And they really consider what they do in art, and I think it is a part of art. You're taking a toy action figure that most people just give to their kids, they play with, but there are a lot of people like me and a lot of other guys that collect them, and I got a bunch that are still in package and will never be open. But I do like picking up the loose ones. For one, you can get them cheaper, and two, I've got to have them open for these dioramas, so that just makes it that much easier for me. But like I mentioned, I do have quite a few that are not going to be taken out of the package that I'm putting up for my boys when they get grown, and hopefully they'll do the same and they'll just stay in the family. But again, Tommy, I know you wanted to see a video of this, and these are the 3 that I have right now. I've only been into it, like I said, maybe 2.5 months. This was my first one, and as you can see here, I pushed this one aside. I attach these walls with magnets. You cut a spot out and put the magnet down with glue, and see, I could position that and it'll suck itself back into place. So I don't have to keep these up all the time, and that's really an awesome thing because I could put the walls down, stack them on top of each other for storage. So Tommy, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if anybody else is interested, maybe in the future when I get done with this, I'll post up a finished video. And I'm not going to worry about doing a separate channel or anything, all of that kind of mess. I'll make it in the title, and if you're not into this, you'll know it from the beginning to either watch it or skip over it, whatever you choose. But this is Heath, and hopefully maybe one day soon I'll be able to start on that bass boat, and I'll give you guys an update about that. But until then, thanks to all my subscribers. Thanks for all the support on my channel. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you guys soon.